out against what he has been seen as financial mismanagement and corruption by the political echelon is Yaron Zelekkha, an economist and former accountant general of the Ministry of Finance, who has now thrown his hat into the political ring by founding and chairing the new economic party. Yaron, thank you for joining us.
Good evening.
Let me start just first by asking your reaction to this plan being presented by Prime Minister Netanyahu and the finance minister, Israel Katz.
First of all, it's not an economic plan. It's a charity economy. But let me tell you, the Israeli economy does not need a charity. It needs an economic leader with an economic policy. An economic policy needs growth engines, needs budget cuts, needs to be responsible and not distributing money like in a charity. We are not in a charity. We are in the biggest economic crisis ever. And we need management and leadership and strength.
Right. Now, Yaron, I am sure you have been approached over the years, in recent years, by various political parties to join their lists. Why, instead of doing that, would you establish your own party, the new economic party, and take a much bigger gamble in running in this election?
Well, you know, in the finance ministry building, there is already a picture of me. I don't need another picture. I need to be a finance minister with strength, with political power to fulfill my plans for the economics of Israel. In order to do this, I need an independent power, political power. The Israeli economy is facing a tremendous crisis. We were going to run an economic war on the future of the Israeli economy. And the Israeli economy needs a leader with power. Therefore, I have to be with independent power. I'm not going to be another poster in the Ministry of Finance building.
Yaron, Bill Clinton once famously said about U.S. elections, it's the economy, stupid.
That's right.
But that's the U.S. In Israel, it's usually not the economy, let's be honest. It's usually security, maybe other issues. Polls don't show your party breaking the threshold. Do you have any hopes for this election, or are you trying to start a movement that you hope will perhaps last beyond this election?
Well, the crisis is in front of our doors. It will not be postponed until the next election. It is happening now, and we need an economic leader now. That's why I'm running now. I don't want to wait. You have to understand that this crisis needs a leadership with expertise, with know-how, with the guts to do the necessary things to the economy. That's why I decided to take the responsibility and approach the public.
Well, you say the necessary things for the economy. Give us something concrete. If you were finance minister, in your first 100 days or even your first 10 days, what changes would you make or try to make?
I will do 3 things at the first day in office. The first thing, I will cut the entire tax subsidies that the big corporations and the tycoons in Israel are receiving. Something like 10 billion shekels every year. I'll take that money and cut down the VAT for the entire economy from 17% to 15%. The second issue, I will cut down the entire duties on all the import of cosmetics and pharmaceuticals, and especially food. There is no reason that we will continue to pay 25% more than average European or American on food, which are 17% of our income.
I'm going to interrupt. I know you have one more to go. Wouldn't that damage the agricultural sector in Israel, the kibbutzim and the moshavim, who are a key part of the economy here?
You follow me that I told you that we need to do a brave things. Of course, every reform will hit someone, but these are essential to the future of the economy of Israel. And I know that there will be political powers that will be against that. That's why I need independent power to fulfill these plans. We cannot make any more subsidies. We cannot block any more competition. We cannot pay 25% more than average European any longer. We have over 2 million people below the poverty line, and another 1 million are standing on the side, now getting subsidies that will be cut down in few months. We're approaching 3 million people below the poverty line. And the third thing that I'll tell you about, we have 100 monopolies. But the biggest monopoly in Israel is the gas monopoly, that are selling gas in Israel 2 or 3 times above the legal prices. And I'm going to exercise
the natural gas.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
I'm going to exercise a supervision on their prices to cut them down to cost plus reasonable margin. Like in Europe, it's the same law as in Europe, and that will allow us to cut down the electricity prices by 15%. So think about it. At the first day of office, cut down 15% in the electricity, cut down the food prices, and cut down the VAT by 2%. This will create an enormous growth engine that will put the economy forward.
All right, well, some of those ideas may be popular, and you have expressed them in the past, but of course, as you said before, there are many entrenched interests in the country, and some of them are certainly part of the voting public that might disagree with it. But I want to ask you, Yaron Zelekkha, to stay with us. We'll be right back after the break. Certainly, there's one key political question that I